There it is. All right, we're live. We are in the middle of the Blade Show, Virtual Blade Show 2020. Usually it is in Atlanta, but we are in the studio in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we have got a treat because not only do we have our next knife maker interview, but we also, he's in Georgia right now. Let me introduce you to Mr. Dirk Lutz. How are you, Dirk?
Good and you?
Fantastic. You are in Georgia, right?
I am, yeah, about an hour outside of Atlanta. So I'm kind of at the Blade Show.
Well, I didn't know because anybody can be anywhere. You could be phoning in from anywhere because we're having people all over the country right now. So about an hour outside of Atlanta. And tell us what are you doing in America? I mean, aren't you South African?
Well, I'm trying to be an American. That's the idea. I've got been here for about 3 years, got 2 years to go, and then the goal is to become a citizen.
Yeah, well, I like that. I mean, I like America. You should be an American too, but I do like South Africans. They do make the best biltong.
Oh, they do. Well, I make some biltong here, so.
What? And I don't have any. I got this box of knives, and you didn't send biltong?
I mean, biltong here is like hen's teeth, so I'm keeping all that for myself.
Well, you got to teach us. Me and Nolan have tried a couple times. Not very good at it.
No,
you know, we're not African. That's the issue, I think.
Nah, I mean, I use a plastic Tupperware box to make mine, and it works perfectly. A little computer fan and a light bulb, and you're all set, man.
We're gonna need to do another live interview. Nolan, mark this down. Live interview, and you get to teach us how to make biltong. 100%,
whenever you want to.
So tell us. So you're in America right now. You own a business. I know a little bit about what you got going on, but maybe our customers don't know. Tell us what are you doing in America right now?
So my friends call me a scrapper. So I've got a couple of irons in the fire. I obviously make some knives. I have a slip joint company that we make some small slip joints that we sell. I have a website called fellowmakers.com where we sell apparel. We do YouTube videos where we go to other knife makers in America. I'm a part owner in a knife supply business called Pop's Knife Supplies. I still do my knife photography. So I'm a busy guy.
A little bit of everything going on.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Well, and it's all knife related though. That's what I like about it.
Mostly, yeah. Mostly all of it is knife related. So. Well,
that's one of the ways that we first got to know you was your photography business.
Yeah.
You actually had a business in South Africa where you were, taking photographs of these makers, beautiful knives, and then you started making knives. How did you get into transition from photos to making knives?
Well, it's a funny story. My uncle is a knife maker in South Africa.
Right.
He's in a small little town called Orkney. And when I grew up, when I turned 16, he made me a dagger. I actually have the dagger that he made.
First, he made that first knife for you.
He made that first knife for me. So there you can see, there's his logo. Let's see if we can get it to the camera.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, I mean, from an early age, I've been influenced by knife makers. But growing up, it's very difficult to have all the equipment to make the knives and do all that kind of thing. So I did a course with the Herbst family. I'm sure you know Tinus and
yeah.
Herbst. And I actually still have the knife that I made at the course.
Hey, you were prepped for this interview, man. This is
great. And from there on, I mean, it was a hobby. I made maybe 5 knives a year. But what happened was I got involved with Stuart Smith and became friends with him, and we did a couple of. I mean, the guild had a competition where they had to make you had to make a buoy, and I actually have that buoy as well.
Well, and I remember this. Were we at this competition? No, that was the cutting competition.
Yeah. So.
We met you the first time we actually saw you. Now, tell us about the buoy, and then I'll get into the cutting competition.
So, and what happened was they wanted photographs, and as any aspiring knife maker wants to market his own stuff, you realize very quickly that taking a photo of a bright, shiny knife is not the easiest thing to do.
Not so easy.
So I did a bit of research, and I went to Stuart and said, "Listen, we've got this buoy competition. I'd love to take all the photos of all the knives." And we set up a little booth at his house, and I went there with my camera and we took photos, and I had a bit of Photoshop experience, and I did all that. And from there, it kind of grew into most people saw the photos and liked it, and eventually I met my mentor, Dirk, and he asked me to take photos, and I did a deal with him, and I said, look, like a typical in American fashion, we did a trade. I would take photos for him, and he would teach me how to improve my knife making. So, from there, I became the guild photographer for a year before I came to America. Spent some time with Bertie, and that's it in a nutshell, basically.
That's a great story, man. I love it. I love the fact that you're just kind of figuring out a way to do what you might like to do. You don't even know that you like to do it until you start doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, South Africa, we have a saying that "boer maak 'n plan," which means a farmer makes a plan. So you gotta make a plan to make things work.
Well, I like the plan. We've actually had a few knives from you on our website, and people love your stuff. They're a little bit different, right? They're not. I mean, actually, when you said Bertie Rietveld was my mentor, I like that. That makes sense. I didn't know that before about you. But it makes sense because a lot of your influence in your knife making and stuff, I can see Bertie's influence on that.
Yeah. So let me grab this. I actually have the knife as well that I made with Bertie on our course, so that'll give you an idea.
Yes, that's what people know about you. I mean, that's just a different style, a little bit different. How would you describe your style if you were describing somebody that wants to know what kind of knives you make?
I would say I'm more of an art knife maker, although I do every now and again get down and dirty and do a normal hunter or a normal a utility knife. But my passion is making things that are different.
Right.
I don't necessarily enjoy making the stock standard hunter skinner kind of knife. For me, it's more the challenge of putting colors together. It's more about the design than it is about the functionality of a knife. No, there's not a very big market for that kind of knife. And I've realized that coming to America, your market's a lot of loveless makers, a lot of hunting, those kind of knives. But there is a kind of niche market for what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and for artists, I mean, there's certain people that say, I just want to make knives because I like making and are using this platform as an art.
Yeah. Well, my saying is functional sculpture.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to have a creative outlet by making a knife. As a boy, you like guns, you like knives, it's a fun thing to actually create something that's
right.
holding your hand, and that could appear in a fantasy movie or something like that. That's my aim. It's to be very different, very creative, very strange. People call me crazy.
I like it. I mean, I think it's different and unique, and nobody else is doing it. So that's what makes you you. So how does that fit in though? When you said, look, well, I also have a company where we make, I think you make a slip joint or just a traditional. I mean, that's like a user.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a production kind of. Although it is a handmade knife, we haven't made them in a while. We come in and we sometimes what we'll do is we'll dress it up and we'll send it to an engraver and have the bolsters engraved and that kind of thing. But it's not my passion. It's one way to have a business and to make a little bit of money on the side. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to achieve knives that's never been seen before.
Right. And so I've actually got something right here. It's a shipment. It's we got a package from you. You said, look, I got something. You sent it priority today. You're like, I got to get this to you. So I heard you say, but before we got onto the stream, that it's multiple knives.
Yeah, there's 3 knives in there.
3 knives in this package. All right, so I'm going to open it up. But here's what I like as I'm opening up, and we'll talk about the knives when we get it. But what I want to know from you is about how did you get involved with also? So you've got photography. You've got the slip joints. You do your custom work, which is your art, but you also own Pop's Knife Supply, which is an American company, or you're a part owner, right?
Yeah.
How did that come about, and who's partnering with you, and this? Tell us about that a little bit.
So when I first came to America, I obviously reached out to find other like-minded people. And funny enough, we have a hammering up in Georgia here called Track Rock. And I saw that they had a knife that was a raffle knife, and I contacted the organizers and said, "Listen, I'll come and take a photo of your raffle knife, and just set up my booth there so I can come and meet some people." And even there, I met obviously a couple of knife makers, became friends. Used to go and visit their shop, and what happened was the owners. It's me. It's Alan Searles of Was Knives, Andy Roy of Fiddleback Forge, and Joey Berry of JB Knife Works. And the idea was initially to open up a machine shop, maybe do a CNC cutting, making some products.
Right.
Got the opportunity to buy Pop's Knife Supplies, and that's the start of the story. I mean, we bought that, we built it up. I have a background in web design, and I built the website, and we've been running it for 1.5 years now.
Well, that's good. That's a great story, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing it, because I'm kind of getting distracted to seeing the sexiness come out right now. I don't want to overdo it, but I will tell you, make sure we'll put the link. Nolan, put the link in the comment section for Pop's Knife Supply. I mean, because this is something where other knife makers can help you guys, can get stuff from you guys, materials, all kinds of stuff and you're a knife maker, so you know what to do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Love the business cards. That's some of your photography right there, right?
Right, yeah. Now you'll notice one of the knives I sent you is actually on the business card.
What? All right. Well, I didn't notice that yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right. So I pulled this out, and because it only came with 2, and then I was thinking, what's this? And then I don't know what this is, but I'm looking forward to seeing that. So let's do this one first. How about that? Can we do this one?
Good. Yeah.
All right. All right. Tell us a little bit about this knife right here.
So it's a basic kitchen knife. I was trying to use. I have a project.
Did you just say basic?
Yeah, it's a basic kitchen knife.
Basic. Come on, get out of here with that. Oh, gosh.
I have a project that I'm busy working on where it has to do with a lot of snake themes. So you'll see I've used the snake skin Juma. I wanted to try some of the faux ivory, and then I did I quite like the napped texture on the blade. So you'll see it's been napped. The spine has been napped. The spine is raised from the handle, just to give you a bit more tactile feeling. Paper tang. It's quite a skinny handle, and the reason for that is when you're chopping and you're doing you're not necessarily holding the handle to chop it. You're holding it. You're pinching it. There we go, and then it's more comfortable. So it's just it was just a little kitchen knife project. I based the handle.
I really like that right there. Skin.
The Juma. Yeah.
And then the text, and then the look of this right here. I mean, I can tell you really took time to pick the right materials for this combo.
Yeah, so that's half the fun that I have with the knives, is coming up with the different color schemes. What am I going to do with it? What am I going to combine? Am I combining a very elegant kind of looking handle, but with a very rough, juxtaposed kind of knife? Now,
this texture goes all the way to the tip.
Yeah. And it will go all the way back to the butt of the knife as well.
Yeah, all the way back to here. But underneath, where your fingers go, it's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, that's fantastic. That will go up on the website shortly. And so it's very big. I don't have a measuring scale out here, but it's a rather big knife. Yeah. I don't know if you have I would say it's probably just the blade length is probably what, 9 inches?
Yeah. Although I'm still battling with the inches versus metric, to be honest.
Well, it's a little bit of difference. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so this is actually one, and I can already tell by the handle, this is one that we've seen a pattern like this from you before.
Yeah, so it is the pattern that you've sold before. It's Little Bird and Trout. I've named that the Little Bluebird. There it shows a little bit more of the technique of putting the handle on with screws. I've incorporated a lot of what I've learned from Bertie Rietveld in it. You know, the raised spine, the textured bolster. It's got a titanium liner. It's got a little ball bearing highlight on the front where the ricasso is. It's just one of those little knives, you know, that if you're going to a fancy restaurant and you want to pull out your own cutlery, that's the kind of thing that you want to pull out.
I like, and I also noticed a little bit different. Your logo is kind of raised, or it's kind of etched in somehow.
Yeah. So when I was in South Africa, I had a different logo. So I actually have that was the let's see where it is. That was the original logo. Right.
Yeah.
And when I came to the States, I decided to do, you know, new life, new everything, and I changed the logo to there we go, that one over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the new logo that I use.
And I see that I guess this is bronze or brass.
Bronze.
Yeah. And then you made some etching. Is it acid etch, or how do you do that?
No, so with my graphic design background, I got myself a vinyl cutter, and so that's vinyl that's been put on there, and then I bead blasted.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. And then you can't really see in the camera. It's blue, but it's a blue Burl that in the video I'm looking right here. You can't really see it, but in real life, I mean, you can definitely see the browns and the blues, and it's got some depth to it.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a little bit shinier than the last one. No grind marks on this one. It's really, you've really taken the time and effort to take out every single grind mark in that blade.
Yeah. No, it's just a little showpiece, you know, just a little exercise.
Just a little showpiece. It's no big deal. Hey, look, I'm pumping you. I really like it. And I think it's really nice. And so I know you want to kind of talk it down. You don't want to seem, but there's no need to be humble around here. We all know good work when we see it. So those are two fantastic pieces. Now I'm going to go to this next. I guess this is it. It's the only thing left in this box, unless there's something else.
That's it.
All right, here we go. It's pretty small.
Yeah, I told you, from big to small.
Well, here we go. Well, there we are, right there. Now this is looks like Bertie Rietveld Damascus.
That is some dragon skin Damascus right there. I have some crazy projects every now and again. I made some miniature axes, and I played around with making miniatures. That is a dragon skin Damascus full integral. So that's one piece of metal.
Yeah, I could see there's no attachments except for where the handle material is.
That's it. Yeah, everything was filed out. You'll see there's some scallops on the which is very difficult to see, but there's scallops on the spine of the blade.
I can't see if I can get a focus on. Here, let me see if I can get it focused right here. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Oh, it's all right. I'll put good pictures. They won't be as good as yours.
I actually have some pictures of that you can use if you want.
Well, there you go. We'll get some pictures and post it up on there. But yes, I could see where you scalped it out and that it's full integral.
Yeah, and if you look at the butt of the knife, you'll see my little logos on there as well.
There you go. Deal.
So that was a little bit of fun. You know, it was just.
Now, tell us a little bit, because you have some intimate knowledge of Bertie's knives. What's the dragon skin? This is dragon skin, right?
That's dragon skin, yeah.
Versus the Nebula Damascus, right?
Yes, and Nebula. Where is it one? Okay, so if you look at the dragon skin, you'll see it's got it's circular.
Right.
Looks like little balls. The Nebula, let's see if I can get that in there and focus that out.
Yeah.
The Nebula is more kind of angular.
Right. Yeah, we can definitely see it.
Yeah. So the colors you can get out of the dragon skin is phenomenal. You can get the same colors out of the nebula. Fantastic steel. I mean, I can't say anything. You know, it's one of those steels when you look at it, there's nobody else who can do it. It's amazing.
So you said nobody else. So he didn't really teach you that secret, maybe, whenever you were.
You know, if I tell you, I'd have to kill you.
Well, I'm not a knife maker. I mean, you couldn't tell me on screen, but later.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I really like the Nebula Damascus and the dragon skin. It's just fantastic. I think it's beautiful. But it is carbon steel for guys who are watching this, so you do have to kind of keep it up. Just kind of keep it clean and not wet, right? Just wipe it down. I mean, is there any tips you might want to give on that?
Yeah, so you know, the general tip is you can use some 3-in-1 oil just to cover it. There are products on the market that you can use to protect your carbon steel Damascus, or even the blades. You can use some Renaissance wax. There's a product by Jim Skelton, EDCI, which you spray on and you just wipe that off. Yep. We sell those. If you go onto our website, you can get them from there. But yeah, don't put it in the dishwasher. Another tip is if you have a leather sheath, don't leave the knife within the sheath because the leather could absorb some moisture. Always store your knives separately. But yeah, just take care of it. Give it a good wipe with a little bit of oil and you'll be fine.
Now, one of the things I didn't ask you about was, you know, that we're talking about steel. I didn't ask you about the steel on the other two knives. Do you use a specific type of steel, or is it just kind of whatever you have at the time, or what?
It's usually whatever I have. You know, if I'm working on a special project, I'll go and find a piece of steel that I need, a piece of Damascus or something. The interesting thing on the little Bluebird is actually the same steel of the bird and trout that I brought from South Africa.
Okay.
So that's N690. The big kitchen knife is CPM 154, so that's the stainless.
Right.
And then obviously the dragon skin Damascus on the little mini.
Now, do some steels polish better than others, or you know, when you're looking at, because I see that the grind marks, you know, on here and it gives it a good feel in the hand, and I see, you know, and so you kind of leave that on there to cut textures and that kind of stuff, and it really flows well. But then you really polish it out on this knife. So, are some steels more conducive to polishing, or not?
Yes. So look, if I'm speaking in South African terms, you would rather polish 12C27 because it's got more chromium in it than you would N690. Although you can get a relatively good polish on the N690. I think in America, the best steel to polish is RWL34. That comes out amazing. Some carbon steels won't take a polish as well. You know, obviously Damascus, you don't want to polish it up too high unless you're doing a bluing. So I mean, again, there's so many different techniques. The satin on the blade is generally used in production knives and knives that are going to be used because you're not going to see the scratches as prominently as if you would on a polished blade. And also depends on what you're using the knife for.
Right.
But also, you know, the process is a lot quicker when you're doing a satin on your blade than it is when you're actually going to a mirror polish. You know, it takes a lot of time, lots of elbow grease to get it to that kind of shine. Where on a satin, you can take it off the grinder. You don't even have to take it to hand sanding. And that's just a time process that as a maker you have to decide, you know, how much time am I putting into the knife, how much money am I spending, how much am I selling it for, you know, that kind of thing. And what is the use of the knife?
Right.
I would rather have a satin finished knife than a fully polished knife. You know, a lot of these guys will mock me and say, "Oh, that's a safe queen. It's never going to come out of the safe." So sometimes it's good to put a satin on there, and guys want to use the knife.
Well, even knives that you have that are not, you know, that really tough finish. I mean, this is a type of knife that you would want to like. I mean, I want to use it, but it's so nice.
Yeah, that's the problem with most of the knives that I make. You know, everything's been heat treated. Everything is usable. It'll cut. It'll shave. It'll do whatever you need it to do. But people look at it and go, "Wow, that's pretty. Okay, it's going into the safe." But at the end of the day, I'm a selfish maker. I make knives that I like and that, you know, I would make for myself. And if you use it, if you don't use it, that's up to you.
Well, good. Well, now when you moved, I'm gonna go back to Atlanta. When you moved to the United States, did you choose Atlanta because that's where the Blade Show was, or is there any reason why you chose Georgia, or what?
We arrived in America in Maryland, and we decided what we would do is we'd do a tour of the East Coast, specifically because of the time difference to South Africa. I still obviously have family in South Africa.
Right.
And if we were going to the West Coast, it's near impossible to have the window that you have to actually speak to people when they're awake is much smaller than on the East Coast. There's only a 7 or 6 hour difference depending on daylight savings. But we traveled, we went through Virginia Beach, we went through North Carolina, South Carolina, we went through Georgia, we went down to Florida, to Disney World. That's how I bribed my daughter to come to America.
Disney World, that's a great way.
Yeah, and as we were traveling, we obviously investigated rents and schools and that kind of thing. And Georgia was, cost of living compared to Maryland was ridiculous. Maryland, because it's so close to Washington, you couldn't afford an apartment for the same price as if you would a rental a house in Georgia. And the schools here are fantastic. So that was the main reason. Now, it was a bonus that the Blade Show is in Atlanta. I mean, that's great. And luckily enough, there's a huge knife maker community in Georgia. I'm part of, actually on the board of the Georgia Knife Makers Guild, which is a teaching guild. We meet 4 times a year. There's so many knife makers in the area. So it was a good spot to put down my anchor for a little while.
Well, good. Well, we're glad to have you here in America. I hope you stay safe. I know that, Blade Show's canceled, and we're going to figure it out. The knife community is going to figure it out to respond to that. But we're glad that you're here, and we're hoping that we see more good, awesome stuff coming from you in the future.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I love America. I don't even want to go back to South Africa, so I'm super happy in America. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's a few knife makers that would love to be here if they could.
Yeah, I was super lucky, so I count my blessings every day.
Well, we're blessed to have you here. You're a great addition to America, and I'm not huge going to get patriotic right here, but you're a great addition, and I'm glad to have you here. So we're thankful for you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Well, I've enjoyed our conversation. I'm looking forward to maybe getting some pictures of these, putting these up on the website. I'm assuming I didn't see any detail sheets, but send me an email with some little details, because I don't know that I'll remember all the steals and stuff right there. But we'll get it, put them up shortly, and we hope that you stay safe. And we'll talk to you real soon.
You too. Stay safe that side.
All right. Take care.